Fisher, and this is going to be my final essay presentation. So here we have Placé Vintimille by Edouard Villard. He painted this painting in 1909, and I found this in Guggenheim Museum, New York, for my presentation. So here we are. We see that this painting has so many aspects in it. So looking at the very flurried brushstroke, very noticeably loose, noticeable. Why is this? So we can see everything in the painting. So we can see all the purpose and all the intention he put in there. And looking at that intention, we see that there is this harmonious balance. In the middle, there's like a yin-yang symbol. It's circling, it's swirling, it's kind of tying each other into each other as like brown, deadish grass mixes into more lively grass. And the sky goes from a warm tone to a cool tone shifting between these two panels, and it's so cool to see. Edouard Villard is a post-impressionist artist. He was in the small art group called Les Snobistes, which really differentiated post-impressionism and impressionism, because post-impressionism had more focus on these art groups, while impressionism had more focus on this lighting and all these new things that they're trying out for the first time. So that's really cool to see them group together and try all this light stuff and then branch out and see what they can do on their own. And this is what they did. So moving on, we have Edouard Manet's Olympia. Olympia is a realist painting by Edouard Manet, and Manet was really cool in the way that he broke this transition and this pivotal movement in this painting, because this painting has poor contouring, it has very drawn lines, and you can see the paint on the canvas, which is very crucial to what he was developing. He was developing painted representation. He was trying to show that, hey, I am painting on a canvas, and this is cool, and this is what I'm going to do now because it's real. It's not an illusion, it's not fake. And that's what Manet was focusing on, and that's what the realist followed him. The realist wanted to paint real stuff. They wanted to paint gritty depictions. They wanted to show that paint is paint and it's not perfect and it's real. And that's what Olympia did. And Villard followed in Olympia's footsteps quite a while ago, because this painting was made in 1863. He followed in her footsteps by showing his brushwork, by showing that, hey, this is paint and this is a painted representation. This is not supposed to be taken as a picture. It's not supposed to be something pretty to look at. It's supposed to be something meaningful, it has symbolism, it has so much stuff in it. Which leads us to more impressionist work. This is Claude Monet. It's Monet. And this is the Portal. So the Portal has so many aspects to it. We're going to look at the Grey Weather and the Tour d'Albane. These were exhibited together, but they're two canvases. So it's kind of getting at what Villard was doing with his dual panels on canvases. He was showing two artworks at the same time because they're meant to be together. The Portal, looking at it, has cool tones. It draws out this blue, this black. It shows like an abyss. It has very scary connotation. While in the Sunlight, the one on the right, it has warm tones. It pulls out warm tones of sunlight and yellow and has more an inviting tone. And what Monet was working at with this painting was to show the difference of feeling and emotion and what the painting is based on lighting and based on times of day. So there's such a different feeling between these two paintings, not because it's painted differently, not because it's a different angle, not because it's different building, it's just because of different tones, different lighting. And that's really important because lighting is everything. So going back to Villard's painting, we see that his lighting was also influenced by the Impressionists, because he's a post-impressionist group. His lighting was also influenced because he shows the daytime, he shows the nighttime, he shows how the feelings are mixed up and jumbled up with all the stuff. Also, similar time periods, Villard did the bulk of his work in the Impressionist era, which is slightly before this, 1880s maybe. So that's where I'm drawing the connections between these two. Lastly, we have Pierre Bonnard, Nanny's Promenade. Nanny's Promenade depicts screens. It's called Frieze of Carriages. There's lots of silhouettes on the screens. So these silhouettes derive from Japanese art. Japan was opened up for trade, and all these art came flooding in, and it was so fashionable, and it was like, oh my goodness, we need to get on this. The French people said we need to look at this stuff and try to recreate it, because it's such a beautiful way of representing art naturally, which is what a lot of emphasis is on, naturalism. But it's a new way of naturalism, so they have to keep doing something new. French people created Japonism, and Japonism it's a great example of this. They took Japanese art and they made it, and they recreated it basically. These panels are a direct use of how they used the materials. This uses panels, and the Voulard's painting also used panels, and it has this new orientation of the page because now it's like a vertical thing, and they're placing new proportions, and they're learning all these new ideas that they didn't even think of until they saw Japanese art, until Japanese popularized it. This is 1899. This is very close to how recent Voulard's painting was. So that was my presentation. Hopefully you have more of an understanding of how I drew all these paintings together and really just see the value in the work how I did.